every excuse Hillary Clinton has given for her 2016 election loss. Hillary Clinton has blamed her election loss to Donald Trump on pretty much everyone and everything, most recently telling CNN's Fareed Zakaria that sexism kept her from shattering America's ultimate glass ceiling. It's the latest attempt by the former Secretary of State and two-time presidential loser to recast her 2016 loss. So we decided to compile all the reasons Clinton has given for why Trump is sitting in the Oval Office instead of her. Sexism. In the CNN interview on Sunday, Clinton said she didn't openly tout her feminist accomplishments during the 2016 election because of the misogyny that's endemic to America. Keep up with this story and more by subscribing now. I was the beneficiary of these radical changes in, women's rights and opportunities that began in the 60s and continue, and that I could have and maybe should have tried harder to tell that story, suppression she said. I never thought there would be that receptive and audience. The expansion of the franchise, about and then I was in the Senate in the election voted 90 women for women nothing under a Republican president. Yes, George W. I do believe Bush, it played a role when asked directly about it. Since the Supreme Court she's becoming increasingly outspoken we don't need it on this point in particular, touching and Republican governors and legislatures began doing everything they could to suppress the vote. That sexism and misogyny was on the way to winning until the combination of Jim Comey's presidential on October 28 and Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of Michelle Obama inclined to vote for me but got scared off. But the evidence for that intervening event is, the former president could have done more to emphasize the urgency of Russia's interference in the election. The Russian hacking of the Democratic National Committee would have happened if President Obama had made a televised address to the nation. President Vladimir Putin's support for Trump was that our democracy was under attack. She stacking the deck against her. What Putin wanted to do was to threaten influence our election. And he's not exactly fond of strong women. It was no secret. You add that together and that's pretty much in the side of Clinton and her campaign. At press events for her memoir, still nursing Clinton continues to warn Americans against Russia's power over Trump and the country. She says the Russians aren't done and caused lasting damage. This is an ongoing threat. Clinton and that is one of the reasons why I wrote the book and one of the reasons I'm talking about it. And she said on Sunday at the Democratic Party London Literature Festival to victory. Her campaign James Comey. According to some of her first comments about the election, the book Clinton blamed the former FBI director, who she believes caused irreparable damage under the final stretch of her campaign. Her message on October 28, Comey sent a letter to Congress announcing that he was getting voters to the Bureau's investigation into the Democratic National private email server. Certainly, if the election had been on October 27 behind Clinton, I would be your president. She said she inherited nothing from the DNC, which she said she had to save from financial ruin. Self-hating women. It was bankrupt. In perhaps one of her most controversial explanations for her election loss, money into Clinton said the DNC white women supported her because they let men tell them how to vote. All of a sudden, the husband turns to the wife. The tech revolution was fully weaponized politically and helped other candidates receive unaccountable money. The boyfriend turns to the girlfriend and says, "United she's going to get locked up." Don't you hear? Referring to the Supreme Court decision on campaign spending in September. So unaccountable instead of saying, "I'm taking a chance against other Democrats," it didn't work in a way that we hadn't seen. And then attached to this weaponized information against the press. But Clinton says the media should shoulder some of the blame for her candidate for dividing the votes between her and Trump. Clinton blames the New York Times for giving her email scandal. There were more than enough stage attention during her campaign, just like it's reported in Florida and New Hampshire affected the outcome of the election. What happened? Clinton also said cable news networks made it difficult for her to get her message across to voters. Clinton damns when you have a presidential campaign and the total number of minutes on TV news was 32 minutes. Needs to be I don't eliminated. Blame voters, Clinton told CNN's Anderson Cooper in September. Voters are going to hear what they hear. College. They don't
like
get
to
a
see
broad
us
base
move
of
beyond
information
it.
to
Yes.
make judgments on.
Anthony Weiner,
Uninformed voters.
amid a probe into Weiner's
Even as
sexual
Clinton
exchanges
refuses to
online
blame
with a
the
minor,
voters,
FBI
investigators
because they were too quick to buy into Trump's
and
flashy
Clinton
campaign
Huma
style.
Abe's emails.
I was running a
leading
traditional
Comey
presidential
to reopen
campaign with carefully
into
thought out
Clinton's
policies and
emails.
painstakingly
Since
built
Clinton
coalitions.
considers Comey's
While
email
Trump was
probe
running
to
a
be
reality
more or less
TV
the
show
final
that
nail in her
expertly and
campaign's
relentlessly
coffin,
stoked
it's no
Americans'
surprise
anger
she
and
doesn't take
resentment.
Weiner's
She
role
writes
in
in
catalyzing
catalyzing
it lightly.
voter suppression.
This man is going to be
At
the death of
Recode's
me,
Code Conference
she said
in
of
May.
Weiner. Clinton said
Her
Republicans'
basket of
voter
deplorables
suppression
crusade played a role
just as
in her
Clinton
loss.
supporters
You had
used
effective
Trump's nasty
suppression
woman
of votes.
comment to fuel
Those
their
of us who
candidate's
can remember
campaign.
the Voting
So
Rights
did
Act,
Trump supporters
the
with
expansion of
Clinton's
the basket of
franchise.
deplorables
And then I was in the
insult.
Senate when we
Clinton
voted 98
realizes
to
now
nothing
that this
under
was
a
a grave
Republican
mistake.
president. George
I thought
W.
Trump was
Bush
behaving
to
in a
extend the
deplorable
Voting Rights
manner,
Act.
Clinton told
And the
CBS
Supreme
Sunday
Court
morning
said,
in September.
we don't
I
need
thought
it
a lot of his
anymore.
appeals
Throws
to
it
voters
out,
were
and
deplorable.
Republican governors
But,
and
she said,
legislators
using the
began
term
doing
ended up
everything
being
they
a
could to
political
suppress
gift
the
for
vote.
Trump and his campaign.
Russia.
I was
Herself.
on the way to winning
Clinton
until the
hasn't
combination
completely
of Jim
absolved
Comey's
herself
letter
of
on
responsibility
October
for her
28th
election
and Russian
loss
WikiLeaks
raised
raised
doubts
doubts
in
in
the
the
minds
minds
of
of
people
media
who
for
were
turning her
inclined to
use
vote
of a
for me
private
but got
email
scared
server
off.
into a full-blown
And the
scandal
evidence for
during
that
the intervening
campaign,
event
she
is,
admits
I
that
think,
sending the
compelling
emails from a
and
personal device was
persuasive.
dumb, Clinton said
I
in
take
May,
absolute personal
referencing the Russian
responsibility.
hacking of the
I was the
Democratic
candidate.
National Committee's
I was the
emails.
person who was on
In
the
what
ballot.
happened,
Clinton
Clinton
said at the
also
Women for
says
Women
Russian
event. President Vladimir Putin's support for Trump was driven by his own anti-women sentiment, stacking the deck against her. What Putin wanted to do was influence our election, and he's not exactly fond of strong women, so you add that together and that's pretty much what it means. At press events for her memoir, Clinton continues to warn Americans against Russia's power over Trump and the country. The Russians aren't done. This is an ongoing threat, and that is one of the reasons why I wrote the book and one of the reasons I'm talking about it, she said on Sunday at South Bank Centre's London Literature Festival. Her campaign staff. According to two former campaign staffers who penned the book Shattered, Inside Hillary Clinton's Doomed Campaign, Clinton threw the lot of them under the bus for failing to hone her message, energize important constituencies, and take care of business in getting voters to the polls. The Democratic National Committee. Certainly, the Democratic Party threw its support behind Clinton, but she said she inherited nothing from the DNC, which she says she had to save from financial ruin. It was bankrupt, Clinton said at the Recode conference in May. I had to inject money into it, the DNC, to keep it going. Campaign finance laws. At the same conference, Clinton said the tech revolution was fully weaponized politically and helped other candidates receive unaccountable money. You had Citizens United come to its full fruition, Clinton said, referring to the Supreme Court decision on campaign spending. So unaccountable money flowing in against me, against other Democrats, in a way that we hadn't seen, and then attached to this weaponized information war. Jill Stein. Clinton blames the Green Party candidate for dividing the votes between her and Trump, handing Trump victories in key states. There were more than enough Stein voters to swing the result, just like Ralph Nader did in Florida and New Hampshire in 2000, she writes in What Happened? The Electoral College. And, speaking of the 2000 election, Clinton damns the Electoral College for making her popular vote win irrelevant to the presidency. I think it needs to be eliminated, Clinton told CNN's Anderson Cooper in September, speaking of the Electoral College. I'd like to see us move beyond it, yes. Anthony Weiner. Amid a probe into Weiner's sexual exchanges online with a minor, FBI investigators uncovered a cache of then-spouse and Clinton aide Huma Abedin's emails, leading Comey to reopen the investigation into Clinton's private emails. Since Clinton considers Comey's email probe to be more or less the final nail in her campaign's coffin, it's no surprise she doesn't take Weiner's role in catalyzing it lightly. This man is going to be the death of me, she said of Weiner. Her basket of deplorables comment. Just as Clinton supporters use Trump's nasty woman comment to fuel their candidate's campaign,
So did Trump supporters with Clinton's basket of deplorables insult. Clinton realizes now that this was a grave mistake. "I thought Trump was behaving in a deplorable manner," Clinton told CBS Sunday Morning in September. "I thought a lot of his appeals to voters were deplorable. But," she said, using the term ended up being a political gift for Trump and his campaign. Herself. Clinton hasn't completely absolved herself of responsibility for her election loss. Though she faults Comey and the media for turning her use of a private email server into a full-blown scandal during the campaign, she admits that sending the emails from a personal device was dumb. "I take absolute personal responsibility. I was the candidate. I was the person who was on the ballot," Clinton said at the Women for Women event.